All right, good evening. It is June 29th, an update of what happened today from the pod. All right, it was really so nice to be able to go visit places that you've read about. And in Boston, you can read about so many places, so much history here. And it was just really nice, going around and seeing all these things that or you, me, hi, I had only seen in history books or videos or movies or things like that. So that was pretty nice. Learned how to pronounce Fanuil. I think I mispronounced it about 4 different ways on the video about that. But a big meeting hall, and that's historical, not just in the American Revolutionary War, but they even have a Daniel Webster and John C. Calhoun paintings inside there. So lots of folks would come in, and it just became a big place to exchange ideas. The Boston Massacre, sort of surprised. Visited the Boston Commons. And there's a marker for the Boston Massacre, a monument in the Boston Commons, and then maybe 10 blocks away where it's really at, there's another marker there. So just sort of surprising to see two markers in the same city for the same place. You know how you see in a lot of these movies when they're talking about New York, and you just see these tons and tons of people walking up and down the streets. Well, I had to get in real early this morning to get over to an office in downtown Boston for when they opened up at 9 o'clock. Tons of people. I was just really surprised how many people were walking around everywhere in downtown. The Commons were sort of interesting. It was nice to go around there and see all the little things that they had there, including the Shaw Memorial, or from the movie Glory. I've seen that now 3 times. This is the original, from what I've been told. There's another copy in the Smithsonian and copy in St. Gargon's. The guy who did it, sculptors up in New Hampshire, which I saw a couple of days ago. So it's really cool to see all 3 copies out there. Worked my way around to several different places out there. The USS Constitution, Old Ironsides, missing some of its sides. If you didn't see the video, they're doing a lot of reconstruction work or repair work, whatever. And it is in dry dock. The dry dock levels go down about 4 or 5 flights. So just a lot of work going on there. Sort of, sad that I couldn't get up on the actual ship itself, but, it's cool to see it. Bunker Hill, 294 steps all the way up to the top of it. That's a long way to go up. Very nice view. I was going to say a cool view. Cool breeze. Really felt good after sweating those 294 steps. Can't remember if the Cape Hatteras lighthouse was bigger than that, but definitely a long hike up there. But I saw a lady carrying a kid. So, hey, if I can do it, lots of people can do it. And let's see, we also had a trip to, I had a trip to the State House. Now, I was thinking it was the old State House. I was just trying to find my way back from walking over to Bunker Hill. And came across what was State Capitol, basically. Came in through one of the back entrances, asked the guard, says, "Is this the State Capitol?" He says, "State House." I says, "Well, is this the State Capitol?" He says, "This is the State House." He says, "Well, is this the seat of government?" He says, "Well, yeah, it is that." And he said, "We call it the State House." I said, "Okay, fine. Tomatoes, tomatoes. Okay, you can call it that." So went inside, got there just in time to take a tour, went around the building, learned, some nice stuff in there, 4 different kinds of Italian marble in there. A lot of work up there. Did you know that the object on the very top of the building is a pine cone? That's because when they first set up Massachusetts, lumber was so important to everybody that they put a pine cone on top. And all this time I thought we were doing ads for the Ice Age, Return of the Acorn. But that's indeed, seriously, that's why it's up on the top of the building. We stopped by the governor's office as part of the tour. We tried to get into the gallery for the House of Representatives, but they were in session and they wouldn't let us in. We did start to walk in for the gallery for the Senate, but the guy inside the gallery stuff said that we couldn't get seated while debate was going on. So I only got a few seconds of that, so we came out. Another part of the building, we got to see the governor's office, or at least the waiting room for the governor's office. A lot of people sitting around. Well, the lady told us this is mostly ceremonial kind of place, sort of like what we saw there in Vermont, except we actually could see the governor sitting there. Well, at the end of all of our stops, the tour guide said, "Anybody got any questions?" Well, when she asked that at the governor's office, said, "Hey, can you go ask the governor if he can come out and say hi to everybody?" She laughed. We all laughed, but we just walked on. And so after we got through, I was really thirsty. And I asked the tour guide, she knew where there was a water fountain because I hadn't seen any on any of our tours. And she says, "Well, I don't know. Maybe you can find some downstairs by the restroom." So I went downstairs, looked around the restrooms, couldn't find one, and walked into another hallway. And eventually I saw an officer coming from way down the hallway. So I figured I'd just stand around the elevators and wait for him to get up. And then I could ask him because he sort of looked like he knew what he was doing. And while I'm standing there waiting for him to get there, the elevator opens up, and suddenly the people standing by the elevator go, "Hey, Governor, hi, Governor, hi, Governor." So the governor walks out of the elevator, walks right by me. So the other folks didn't get to see him, but I got to see him as he was coming out of the elevator. Didn't talk to me. I'm nobody special. But I just thought that was sort of funny going through there. Turns out there's no water fountains in the state capitol because in the 1980s they discovered lead pipes. Think about that, Flint, Michigan. So they haven't had any water fountains in the state capitol in Boston for a long time. And finally, I walked all over Boston today. My feet are so sore. It was the Freedom Trail, and my feet are not free from sores. Legs are a little bit sore still from going up and down so many stairs and walking up and down so many hills. But it was a very fun trip. If you ever get a chance to go to Boston, I really recommend it. All right, that's it for Travels with Phil.